Hey, beautiful people, how are you doing today? Well, I didn't get to post yesterday, to do this video yesterday like I promised, but I did promise if I didn't, I'll do it today. What I'm going to be discussing today is why mammograms do not provide early detection of breast cancers and why it shouldn't be used as your first line of defense in detecting early breast cancer. All right, now I know we've all been brainwashed that mammogram, early detection is the best prevention. That is true. However, what they've done is tied the mammograms to that. Mammograms do not provide early detection at all. They don't. First of all, let me go ahead and welcome all my newbies. If you're new to this channel, I thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for following and thank you so much for your support. Let me also go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Angeline Temple. I am a breast cancer survivor, so this topic is really near and dear to my heart. I'm also a certified holistic health coach, certified chef. If you've been following me for years, you've noticed that, yeah, I was a home cook and then, I got certified. I went to culinary school and all of that. I am also the author of the cookbook, From My Taste Buds to Yours. And I'm currently finessing another juice book right now. It is going to be released next month in March. And while you wait for this new juice book, you can actually go ahead and upload the free juice book that I created for you. You would subscribe to my website and get, download the copy of this free ebook. Now back to the mammograms not detecting breast cancer in its early stages. Cancer, there's a particular growth. The process of cancer cells. There's a growth. Whenever a mammogram detects cancer, it is already about 8 to 10 years in its growth. That is not early detection. Early detection means, in my opinion, when the cancer, is just starting to grow. Hey, Shantae. Yes, so early detection is when the cancer begins to grow. And the only technology available for early detection right now is called, it's the thermoscan. Yanni, are we allowed to, I'm not quite understanding what you're saying, Yanni. Are we allowed to what? Hey, Shantae. Yes, now, mammograms actually exposes you to high levels of radiation. And the only tool available that can actually detect this early breast cancer can detect angiogenesis, is what it's called, the formation of new blood vessels. This is where cancer begins. Your cell, one cell, it divides into two cells. It takes about every 100 days for these cells to double. So one cell turns into two cells, the two cells turns into four, the next 100 days the four cells turns into 8, the next 100 days, and it keeps going and going and going. By the time this cancer cell is about 2 years into its growth, it's the size of a pinhead. A pinhead. Mammograms cannot detect that. There is absolutely no way. Mammograms are just not designed to detect that teeny tiny pinhead. Mammograms are designed to detect breast tumor or cancerous tumors, breast cancerous tumors, when it's about 8 to 10 years into its growth. When it's big, it's about the size of maybe a pencil eraser. Hey, Kihola, how are you? You in the house? Your son had breast cancer and he's doing chemo. I hope it turns out well for him. I'm really sorry to hear that he's had breast cancer, and I do hope that you're actually taking measures as far as changing your diet, you know, your nutritional and lifestyle, that is really going to help, you know, help him out. So doing chemo is one thing. It's something that I didn't opt for while I was doing my breast cancer. But if that is what he chose to do, I do hope everything works well for you. Now, as I was saying, when this cancer cells begin to grow, when the mammogram is able to detect it, it's already 8 to 10 years into its growth. You've been living with this cancer for 8 to 10 years. You had no idea. You're not going to die. If you were supposed to die, you would have been dead already. Now, you go to the doctor, you get your mammograms done, they detect this breast cancer, and all of a sudden, they want to treat this cancer aggressively. If it was in its early stages, there would be no need for that aggressive treatment. Stage 3 and stage 4 cancer from mammograms, that's not early. That is not early. So you let me know if you think stage 3 and stage 4 cancer is early detection in your opinion. You can let me know. But the formation of breast cancer cells, or the formation of new blood vessels in the body, and the moment 2 little cancer cells decide that they're going to begin dividing, that is called angiogenesis. And the only thing that can detect that are thermography. It's called thermoscans or thermography. Your insurance is not going to pay for it because it doesn't fall under the guidelines of, it doesn't fall under the umbrella of allopathic medicine. So your insurance company is not going to cover it. It is not invasive. So there's no one going to be probing you, trying to, cut you up, do anything of that. There's no exposure. There's no exposure to radiation at all. So you don't have to worry about that with the thermoscan, but it actually uses heat to detect the abnormalities. You can do a whole body thermoscan if you want to. You can do just the breast, but it will actually detect those little teeny tiny, abnormalities that a mammogram will never ever detect until it's about 8 to 10 years into its growth. So when I tell you that mammograms should not be used, my personal opinion, as your first line of defense in detecting early breast cancer, this is what I mean. The mammogram has to be, the tumor has to be large enough and dense enough for the mammogram to be able to detect it. So being large enough means it's been growing for 8 to 10 years or even longer. Like I said, you're not going to die. All you have to do, it's simple, make some changes. If you know that, you have cancer, or there's a possibility, or, this whole thing about cancer running in the family, which I don't believe. I don't believe in any type of disease, running in the family. We may be, there may be a genetic predisposition, but I don't believe in the whole, it runs in the family. So, my family has diabetes, so I'm going to get it. No. Cancer runs in my family, so I'm going to get it. That's like saying everybody in your family are rapists, so you're going to be rapists too. Everybody in your family are thieves, so you can break those barriers. And how you break those barriers is changing your lifestyle, changing the way you eat. I mean, you can't expect at some point, let me say this, everyone has cancer in their bodies, believe it or not. This might be a hard one to swallow, but everyone has cancer in their bodies. Now, if you irritate it, it's going to start to express itself. If you provoke it, it will start expressing itself. When I say provoking it, you can't be eating fast foods every single day and not expect, repercussions from that. You understand? You can't. You can't want to eat just whatever you want to eat. Like, you can't be eating all this fast food, processed food. I'm going to die anyway and all this other stuff. Yes, we're all going to die. But how are you? And the same folks that say, we're going to die anyway. And why do you keep scaring us with all this stuff? I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to educate you So whatever you can take away from it, you take away from it. If you really don't care about your health, this is not intended for you. You can just, skip the live and go on ahead, skip the video, go on about your business, because this is not intended for you. But if you truly care about your health and you want to become the CEO of your health, then you have to take accountability. You have to take responsibility for your own health. The doctor doesn't live inside of your body. The doctor doesn't live at your house. The doctor doesn't see what you're doing. You know your body better than any doctor. I know my body. I'm in tune with my body. I don't know about you, but I'm in tune with my body. But like I said, everyone has some type of cancer in their bodies. If you go searching for cancer, you are going to find cancer. It's not just about the foods that we eat. Environmental toxins, the things that you put on your skin. Like, I haven't used makeup in years. I haven't had lipstick in years. I only bathe with a certain type of soap. I don't use like all the perfumey stuff, and all those things are toxic. The lotions and things that, the fragrance and everything that's in there, they're very carcinogenic, and they seep through your bloodstream. So there's no going through the digestive system and all of that. Like, when you eat your food, it's going directly through your bloodstream. So there's no filtering. So I'm very mindful as to what I put on my skin, what I put in my hair. I don't even use shampoos. There are lots of natural products available that you can, source. But for me personally, I haven't had time to like research any of those natural products to, go ahead and buy them. But I'm very careful as to what I put on my skin. We can't miss cancer. The minute you walk outside, all the environmental toxins, it's out there. So you have to do your part in reducing your risk of these, cancers or having the cells grow at a rapid rate. You can reduce those risks or have it totally reversed by changing your diet. Now, in my video yesterday, Yanni, I don't know if you noticed the comments, but she said that I think it was her little sister, was 4 years old, and she reversed stage 4 cancer. Stage 4 cancer by just simply, going on to a plant-based diet. So you don't have to be scared if, you've been diagnosed with cancer. It's just a symptom of something bigger that's going on in your body. Just like you get the diagnosis of diabetes and you're like, okay, we have to do this, or you get a diagnosis, you are not going to die. Like I said, by the time you get your diagnosis, if you were going to die, you would have been dead. You would have been dead a long, 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 long time ago. So now is the time for you to just buckle up and do what it is that you need to do. And what I do recommend is, if I were to be diagnosed with cancer, most definitely, I would switch to a plant-based diet. I do that. I do that too until I get in, the clear zone, and you feel like you want to try other things, and just stay away from the processed foods. Now, as you all know, I am a cancer survivor. Yanni, she's watching. You invited her to what? Her name is Chanel. Hi, Chanel. How are you? I'm sending you lots of love and light, darling. I'm so happy you reversed your cancer. Yes. She is watching. Okay, you invited her to watch this live. That is wonderful. Thank you so much, Yanni. But yes, I just want to encourage you guys. If you've been diagnosed with cancer, it's not a death sentence. If this video is adding value to your life, or you have someone in your life that you think would greatly benefit from it, or someone that needs to hear it, please go ahead and share this video. Now, as far as chemotherapy, I'm not a fan of chemotherapy at all. You are welcome, Chanel. You are welcome. I'm not a fan of chemotherapy, but if that is something that you decide you want to do, I mean, you have the right to your choice. It's just not something that I would choose, because chemo it's poison. I don't understand the concept of using poison to kill poison. when you're diagnosed with cancer, you're extremely acidic. So why would you use acid on top of acid it just doesn't make any sense to me. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and you can watch my video on my YouTube channel where I tell my story of, surviving breast cancer. My YouTube channel, it's Ange'luscious Authentic Dishes, and on my social media platforms, it's also Ange'luscious Authentic Dishes. So you can check that out. When I was diagnosed, one thing I really appreciate the doctor for, telling me is that if we radiate you, well, because they were offering radiation, which I refused, I can't promise you that the cancer won't, just reappear in some other parts of your body. That was enough for me to make a decision. It's called informed consent. Doctors really don't, you go to the doctor, you spend like, 2 minutes with him. He really doesn't have time to go over anything with you. But I would like to be given information. And let me just say this. Should have put my disclaimer out there. I am not a doctor, and I do not provide medical advice. I'm a holistic health coach. I'm a chef. I'm an author. This video is for informational purposes only, and it is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Now, if you need medical advice, please go ahead and consult a licensed medical practitioner. If you are having an emergency right now, call 911, 119, or whatever the emergency contact number is in your country, and they should be able, to help you with whatever your emergency is. All right, so I just wanted to get that out there. Now, like I said, I was really happy that, the surgeon told me that he wasn't sure that the cancer would reappear in another part of my body. So I'm really grateful for that information, because what you don't understand with chemotherapy, it may be targeting those cancer cells, but it's completely damaging all the other surrounding cells. So sooner or later, it's just going to manifest. I was trying to, I'm not quite sure if that's one of the reasons for the, some people say, oh, I'm a 2- and 3-time cancer survivor. I'm not sure if the cancer coming back years later after chemo. I was just thinking to myself. But all cancers are not problematic. Once you're diagnosed, the doctors really don't understand all the different types of cancers. They look at the cells and they see that it's cancerous. They don't know which ones are going to grow, because all cancers aren't the same. Some might just sit there and remain dormant and never bother you. The doctor doesn't know that. They're going to recommend chemo or surgery or radiation or whatever it is that they think, is best for you. But it's just astounding. You're not going to die. You're not going to die. Like I said, some cancers remain dormant. We all have to go, but you don't have to be scared into thinking, oh my God, if I don't do this chemo and radiation, I'm going to die right now. You've been living with this thing for 10, 15 years, 10 years or even longer, I should say. All right? And you didn't die. So now you can actually go ahead, change your lifestyle. Change your lifestyle. Change your eating habits. Fast food is not going to cut it. You're going to have to spend time in the kitchen. I don't mind spending time in the kitchen. I mean, I've started this page, I think, since 2009 or 2011 I started this account. And I remember I used to post all my dinners and, because like I said, before I became a holistic health coach, I was always posting pictures of my dinner, my food. I was always into giving the benefits of, what the food is good for, what it wasn't good for, things like that. And I'm happy that I did. I'm really happy that I did, because while I was eating that way, I was actually slowing the growth of any cancer cells that are probably there, or improving my health. I haven't been to the doctor in years. This is what? I haven't had a flu. And my diet isn't perfect. It's not about being perfect. It's not about being perfect. sometimes you feel like eating something. I mean, it's not like you have to eliminate everything. I eat meat, and if you look at my page, you'll see a whole bunch of meat. I eat, not like I eat meat every single day, but I do eat meat. But the difference is, like, if I were to remove the meat from my plate, you would think I was a vegetarian or a vegan. That's how much vegetables I incorporate into my diet. Yesterday, here's my juice that I made yesterday. Remember? The apple, the oranges, this is it. And I added some chlorella, so it's a little dark, but this is my juice, and this is what I do. I drink, you know, I nourish my body with nature. Now, back in 2004, when I was diagnosed with cancer, I didn't understand. Hi, Sandra, how are you? I didn't understand the power of plants. I really didn't. And I had bilateral mastectomy. You know, they cut off both my breasts. I had reconstructive surgery. Like I said, you can go watch the video on my YouTube channel and, you know, get the full story. But I juice heavily, so maybe this is what's keeping me going. You know, I do the best that I can. I also made homemade kombucha. I poured some in here too. Yeah, I try to do everything from scratch. So if you've been diagnosed with cancer, hi Monique, how are you? Nice seeing you. Now, if you've been diagnosed with cancer, you're going to have to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. You're going to have to, this is something that you have to do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about, you know. I see a lot of people, oh, I'm eating healthy, and so I'm doing almond milk, and you go to the store and buy almond milk. For what? You gotta kill the whole purpose of, it's almonds and water. Get you some almonds, get you some water. I have my videos on my YouTube channel, show you how to make these nut milks, you know, if you want to get some almond milk. Look, read your ingredients. Read your ingredients. This is one of the reasons why I try to do as much as I can from scratch. I really don't have any packaged foods. You know, I try to eat as close to nature as possible. I don't have any packaged foods in my house. Maybe one or two, you know, but for the most part, I cook from scratch. I do everything from scratch. You have to spend a lot of time. Some people's like, oh, so, you know, you want me to go to work and then come home and this and that. You can prepare your meals in advance. It can last you for maybe 2 or 3 days. You can batch prep. There's a lot of things that you can do. You will find a way. You don't have to make excuses. If you really want to live a fulfilling life, yes, we are all going to die. Yes, we're going to die. These people that say, oh, we're going to die anyway, as soon as they get sick, they're the first ones at the doctor. Why the hell why are you going to the doctor? Why? You're going to die anyway. Go ahead. So, you know, I try to, like I said, I try to eat as healthily as I possibly can. I try to avoid processed foods as much as I can. And even if I feel for some Cheetos or something, I'm going to find what I believe is the healthiest Cheetos that doesn't have, you know, certain things in it. The almond milk, if you look at the almond milk, you're going to see natural flavors. That's the ones in the stores. Why do I need natural flavors in my almond milk? This is another thing. Natural flavors. Keep in mind that natural flavors is, they have to concoct like 1,000 different chemicals to mimic that natural flavors. So it's all made in a lab. What else do I see in it? Carrageenan. Carrageenan is a thickener. It's a synthetic Irish moss. Put your real Irish moss in there if you want it that thick. You know, when you make your own almond milk, it's not thick like the ones that you see in the store. That's because they have these, you know, synthetic ingredients and thickeners and things like that. You can make your own almond milk. So like I said, if you're saying that you're going to be healthy and you want to make your milks, process things on the shelf. Sometimes, every now and then, yeah, it's not going to kill you. you know, you feel like you want to go and, you know, you just have to because it simplifies your life, but don't make it like a regular habit. The whole point of eating healthy is to make your own stuff from scratch. That's just, you know, my personal belief. Make your stuff from scratch. You don't want to spend time in the kitchen? I can't help you. I really can't help you. So whatever comes your way, you want to eat at restaurants every single day, restaurants are not looking out for your health. They're not cooking with olive oil and avocado oil because it's not cost effective for them. So if you're eating at restaurants every single day, of course at some point it's going to get to a point where your body's just very acidic because they're not cooking with the most healthiest ingredients. I eat whatever I want to eat. I just use healthier ingredients. I don't cook with seasoning salts and things like that. I cook pink Himalayan salt or Celtic sea salt. Soup can last 2 days, Chanel, of course. She said soup can last 2 days. Soup can last a lot of days, depending on how many people is in your family. So you batch cook your soup, and you drink your stuff, and, you know, sometimes you make a meal. You can recycle that meal into another meal. I've done it many, many times. So you want to, you know, exit that boredom. All right? So I just want you to think about this whole mammogram thing and this deception for all these years. If you truly want to find out if you do have, you know, breast cancer, my thing is, why try and detect cancer if you can prevent or live your life to the best you can to prevent it? Hello, Millicent. You know, that's just my opinion. But if you're someone that's like, you know, I really want to find out if I have cancer, I really, really need to know, thermography is where you should start. Because like I said, in its very, very early stages, the thermoscans, they can detect all this heat that's radiating from your body. That's what it uses, this heat. It can detect abnormalities in your breast at a very, very early stage, like when it's 2 years as opposed to 10 years. So if you're okay with getting your breast compressed and you have undetected cancer cells in there that the mammogram didn't see because it's not big enough, it's not dense enough to pop up in front of the mammogram. So if your mammogram didn't detect it and it's in there, you go squishing it, what's going to happen? It's going to rupture. And now cancer is all over your body. So you just gave yourself, you know, cancer all over your body. Let me give you my story. When I was diagnosed, a mammogram didn't find the cancer. And if you watch, you know, my story on my YouTube channel of surviving cancer, there's a section where I mentioned that this cancer was in my breast. It was growing for like 10 years. Every single time I went to the doctor, oh, it's just a mass. It's just a mass. It's just a mass. I just totally gave up. And I used to get my yearly mammograms done. The mammograms did not detect the cancer in my breast. I found it. The mammogram didn't detect it. But I decided I wanted to have it removed because it was just getting so, it was hard and it was getting enlarged. So I decided I wanted to have it removed. I skipped the biopsy. I didn't want that. Now, what if I had continued to getting these mammograms, routine mammograms? It was not cancerous and they squished it. The cancer was still within the milk ducts. What I was diagnosed is called ductal carcinoma in situ, which means the cancer was still within the ducts. It hadn't spread. Now, what if I had continued with the routine mammograms and they had squished that? I don't know what would have happened, but I'm glad that I found it. So you can check your breast, you know, feel it, check it yourself. But if you really need to find out if you have cancer in its earliest stages, if you want to detect angiogenesis, which is where the formation of these new blood vessels, which is where the abnormalities begin. If you really want to see that, thermography is your best route. That will show you what's going on, and then you can act on it, as opposed to waiting 10, 15 years down the line when the mammogram picks it up. So I'm not saying not to get I personally don't want any mammograms, but I'm not telling you not to get. If you still feel the need, you know, to get the mammogram, because Once the thermal scans and all of that detects it, the mammograms can help to pinpoint the exact area that that thing is in. That's about it. But it doesn't, it's not early detection. It is not early detection. So I just wanted to really clear that up. I really want to clear that up. And don't think that because everybody, you know, in your family has cancer, then, you know, you're going to get it too. Because you can change it. Like my grandma, my grand-aunts, everybody has like diabetes and high blood pressure. Like everybody in my family has that. I don't have that because I made the decision to change the way that I eat. After being diagnosed with cancer and later being diagnosed with endometriosis, I was like, you know what, the doctors, they just didn't have any answers for me. It was always medication, and, you know, they had side effects, and I didn't like the side effects, and they just couldn't, it was all just medication. No one was able to give me, you know, any direct answers. So I decided to become the CEO of my health. And that's what I did, and I'm happy that I did. And I've been doing this for a very, very long time. Sorry for that interruption. Who is calling me? Anyway, yeah, so you're not going to die. Yes, Raquel, we need to start the healthy eating. That's the only way to go. And like I said, it's not just the eating, it's mind, body, spirit. So, you know, you can't say, you know what, I'm going to eat all the broccoli in the world, and, you know, broccoli is going to do this and da-da-da-da-da-da, and then you hate your next door neighbor. Body, mind, spirit. Everything has to be aligned. All right? You can't be holding grudges and animosity and you're eating healthy. Hopefully, for me, my personal experience, when I started juicing heavily and just changed my diet, my perspective of the entire world just changed, just completely changed. Have always been a forgiving person. I don't have anyone in my life that I hate. You know, I don't. So you really have to have this mindset. You know, you have to practice, you know, whatever faith it is that you believe in, whether it be, you know, Buddhism, Christianity, you want to meditate, do yoga, you believe in Jesus, Yahweh, whatever your faith is, if that's what's going to keep you grounded, you know, that's what you want to stick with. That's going to help a lot with your healing. So it's all about, you know, forgiving and things like that. Now, me personally, I have no desire to get any mammograms of any kind to detect, because like I said, why detect when you can prevent? Hi Anita, I juice a lot of fruits and vegetables. I do have a mini juice ebook. You have to subscribe to my website. It's Ange'luscious.com, Angeluscious. Because it's Facebook Live, I don't know how to put all that stuff on here, but I'll put it in the the comments later. You can get your free juice ebook, and next month I just pretty much need to edit the juice book. It's done, but I've been, you know, really busy, strapped for time. But next month my new juice book will be released. You could also, on my Facebook page, I juice a lot. My YouTube channel, there's juices on there as well. But I do use pretty much all types of fruits and veggies. Yanni, you're working on fixing your mindset, and you do believe in a wholesome renewal. Yes, that is a definite. You know, if you want to heal on a therapeutic level, you have to. You just definitely have to take responsibility for your health, become the CEO of your health. Like I said, my preferred method of prevention is eating real food. Like, why am I going to stress myself out? You get a mammogram. This is what happens to most people. You go and you get the mammogram done. Like I said, 10 years you've been living with this cancer. You didn't know. You go to the doctor, you get your mammogram, and now you start stressing, oh my God, I'm going to die tomorrow. You are not going to die. Cancer is not a death sentence. It's not. You've lived with it for 10, 15 years. You can live another 10, 15 years. getting the chemo and the radiation, all of that is not going to extend your life more than, you know, what it was. Like, change your diet. And I'm so happy that Yanni actually commented that, you know, a stage 4 cancer, most people get stage 4. They think, oh my God, that's it, I'm dead. And her little sister, Chanel, beat the odds by changing to a plant-based diet. That goes, the power of fruits and vegetables, the power of herbs. This is why I cook with a lot of herbs, because they are healing. Drink a lot of teas. They are healing. You have to change your whole mindset. All right, so like I said, leave your comments. Let me know what you think about the video. How would you feel if you were, you know, were diagnosed with cancer? I'll come back later and I'll answer these questions. Let me know. What would you do if you were diagnosed with cancer? If this video adds any type of value to your life or to someone else's life, please share this video so others can be informed, because this is not something that your doctor is going to tell you. You can ask, the doctor should know that mammograms do not detect cancer in its early stages. That's something that they should know, I would hope. I mean, if I know, if I can do the research and find that out, I'm absolutely sure they know that too. But they've spent a lot of money in mammography and all this other stuff. So, I mean, if people were to find this out, I don't know, maybe it would impact their businesses negatively. I don't know. But ask questions. I used to go to the doctor with a long list of questions, and he got pissed. So, you know, I had to do it all on my own, and I'm really, really happy that I did. But I hope this adds value to your life. And please follow me on all social media platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook. It's Ange'luscious Authentic Dishes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be blessed. Oh, hi, Monique. Alrighty, girl. I know you're at work. Go ahead on. Run. See you later. Be blessed. Bye-bye, Yanni.